If you love wisdom, put your mind up to the ceiling. Don't let it stay in the gutter. Don't let your heart get all cluttered. No, I did not stutter. Listen to all that I've muttered. Your life will only go well if you and wisdom are lovers.
If you're in love with wisdom, come inside.
Come inside. Come inside.
The truth will surely rescue you and I.
You and I. You and I.
If you're in love with wisdom, come inside.
Come inside. Come inside.
The truth will surely rescue you and I.
Alright, what's going on? And good afternoon to you. This is JC Johnson, and you are listening to For the Love of Wisdom, where philosophy meets the streets. Today we are discussing the wisdom of opportunity. Alright, so I think that you'll enjoy this episode. We are going to be discussing how we can take advantage of everything that comes our way in this life. So, we'll be right back after a quick break. You're listening to North Coast Underground, where the underground starts with you.
If you're in love with wisdom, come inside.
Come inside.
Hey, what's going on, Wisdom family? Each week on For the Love of Wisdom, we promote a new and free audiobook that we believe you will benefit from and become wiser by listening to. On today's show, we're talking about the wisdom of opportunity. And so, the recommended book for this week is Life's Challenges, Your Opportunities by John Hagee. This book is all about taking advantage of opportunities that come to you while keeping God at the forefront. To download this free book today, just visit audibletrial.com/lovewisdom. audibletrial.com/lovewisdom.
All right, what's going on? And welcome back. You are listening to For the Love of Wisdom, where philosophy meets the streets. And you know you're listening on North Coast Underground, where the underground starts with you. This is your host, JC Johnson. And today we are discussing the wisdom of opportunity. All right, so I'm so glad that you could hang out with me this afternoon and that you are hopefully open and ready to receive something. You know, every time you listen to something, whether it is an album, you're listening to the radio, even listening to an audiobook, a sermon, or just some good advice from a friend, it's good to be open. You may not always agree with everything that's said, but then again, maybe you do. But I think that the idea is whatever we listen to, it should be something that challenges us, whether it's something that we fully agree with or not. And I like to be challenged. You know, I also like to be proven wrong if necessary. Now, nobody likes to admit and say, I was wrong in this area or that area, right? But the beauty that comes out of being wrong or incorrect is that you learn something new. So in life, we have to be open to learning. And that's what this show is about. It's actually a show on philosophy. And in this show, we discuss wisdom. And that's why the show is called For the Love of Wisdom, because philosophy, literally broken down, means love, wisdom. It comes from two Greek words. The first, philos, which means love. Kind of like Philadelphia, P-H-I-L, that prefix there. Love. And then the second part, Sophia or Sophos. The Greek word means wisdom. And that's what this show is about. So, wisdom is having judgment or discernment, being able to understand things, people, ideas, having a good understanding of yourself and your motives, why you do what you do, etc. That's what it's about. And that's what we talk about every week. The purpose of this really is to challenge us. It's to challenge us to think, to challenge us to grow as individuals in this world that we live in. You know, because we are faced with all types of challenges, obstacles, difficulties, different circumstances that affect who we are and, you know, how we operate in this world. So it's always a blessing. It's an awesome opportunity to be able to share with you. Anything that we talk about is something that I really put thought into. You know, I don't like to just get on here and talk about whatever, because I do believe that as a person who has an opportunity to speak to others, that I should be, regardless of what the subject matter is, I should be imparting something of substance, something of value, and something living, something that you can take with you, and hopefully it will inspire you to do good. Right? That's the goal. And so, before we get too much into today's episode, let's take a look at what we discussed last time on the show. The last time we were talking about the wisdom of diversity, and I think diversity is something that's really important in the days and times that we are living in. And there are some who don't see the benefit of that, or say, we are diverse. We have enough diversity in the world. What's the point of that? But one thing that we discussed last week is that although there are different types of people who have, different strengths, different abilities, and maybe even different worldviews, right? These differences are actually a good thing. They're not a negative thing, because if people who are different can come together and produce something positive, then that's an awesome thing, right? So that is the aim here. The aim is to say, how can we, who came up differently, right? You have different values, different things that were maybe imparted to you by your parents. You have a different worldview based upon your religion and your different upbringings. You have a lot of unique qualities to bring to the table, whether it is at work, whether it is in your school, your family, any context of life that you find yourself in. Your unique abilities and experiences allow you to have an impact on the world that no one else is able to have. And it's up to you to decide whether you want that impact to be positive or negative, right? Are you going to become the next Adolf Hitler, or are you going to become the next Martin Luther King, or someone who is willing to look beyond the surface and to say, I want to make a change? Hitler and MLK both made a huge impact on the world. It's just that their impact was different. And we all have that opportunity to decide what kind of impact we want to make. One thing to keep in mind, all of the episodes, really I'm going to say the first 50 episodes have something in common. And that is that each episode ends with the suffix ity. And if you're wondering, there are within language prefixes and suffixes. Prefixes usually are the first few letters at the beginning of a word. That's a prefix. And then a suffix are, the letters that come at the end of a word. And that's why certain words have similarities in that they either begin with maybe the first 3 letters or end with the first 3 or 4 letters or whatever. So each of the episodes right now on For the Love of Wisdom end with ITY. Diversity, unity, ability, opportunity, tranquility, right? These are what we're focusing on now. And someone asked me recently why we do this and what ITY actually means, like what's the significance of it. So we do spend a lot of time breaking down other words, so I wanted to give some time to this too. The suffix ITY literally means it's the condition or quality of being. Okay, so it's a suffix denoting state or condition, composed of basically it's something that says this is the idea of blank, right? So when we talk about objectivity, we are talking about the substance or being of, being objective. Or when we talk about diversity, it is the subject or the idea of being diverse. It is the state of being of that particular word. That's the best way that I can describe the suffix ITY. And, definitely if you want to look more into that, you can always, study in etymology dictionary and learn more about it. But on last week's episode, when we did speak about diversity, we talked about how in any social arrangement, especially in a nation as large and diverse as the United States, we have a lot of differences. Some good, some bad, right? But we have plenty of differences. And we have the opportunity to either despise those differences or to embrace them and see them as ways to participate in something beautiful, something unique, right? I think that those were a really cool couple of episodes there. And if you missed them, don't worry about it, because they are available for free download. You can get them on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Play Music. And if you have any Amazon Alexa enabled device, you can just say, Alexa, play For the Love of Wisdom, and it will play for you automatically. So that's hands free, right? So if you're driving or you have any kind of hindrance when it comes to moving your hands, then this is another option for you. So if you want to join today's conversation, you can hit me up on Twitter. Just go to look up Love Wise Podcast. That's the handle, at Love Wise Podcast. And in your response, just use the hashtag For the Love of Wisdom. All right. So this is JC Johnson. We are going to listen to some music, and we'll be right back. You're listening to North Coast Underground, where the underground starts with you.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Queen Z from the Queen Z Show, and you are listening to For the Love of Wisdom.
All right, what's going on? And welcome back. You're on North Coast Underground, where the underground starts with you. And this is your host, JC Johnson, For the Love of Wisdom, where philosophy meets the streets. All right, so this week we are discussing the wisdom of opportunity. All right, so one thing that we're looking at is what opportunity is all about. And one verse from the Bible that really stands out to me as it relates to this is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. And this is from the New Living Translation. And it says, "For we are God's masterpiece. He has created us brand new in Christ Jesus, so we can do the good things he planned for us long ago." Now, what does this have to do with opportunity? Well, I'll answer that in a couple minutes. First, let's look at what opportunity is all about. What's the definition? Typically, we look at different dictionaries, American Heritage Dictionary, Webster's, different sources. But one thing that I would like to start with is actually doing a word study from Bible dictionaries. And I think that there was something that was put together here pretty well by a website called Bible and Business. And they define opportunity as an event or moment at which actions of importance or significance can be achieved. All right, so according to this, that is what opportunity is all about. Again, it's an event or moment at which actions of importance or significance can be achieved. Now, we're dealing with two different words here depending on the language. So if we were to start with Greek, there's a Greek word for opportunity, kairos, all right? And it is more than a succession of moments. So chronos. Chronos, if you think about chronology, right? Chronology is all about what comes first, second, third, fourth, fifth, etc., right? So this is saying here that it is more than just that. It is critical or decisive point in time. So it's not necessarily 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but it is focusing on number 4 in the process, or focusing on number 79 in the process. So it goes beyond chronology. It's about, within that chronology, pinpointing a specific point in time, the opportune moment, so to speak. It's also a period marked by distinct conditions. All right, so just looking at that Greek word kairos, all right, that's the understanding we get from that. Now, if we were to look at the Hebrew word, which is translated as seasons. And this is a concept that we see all throughout the Bible, I think. Seasons is basically meaning to set or appoint a time. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 does a good job of speaking about seasons when it says, there's a time for this, there's a time for that, right? So there's a time to heal, there's a time to kill, where the popular movie title comes from, right? There's a time to laugh, there's a time to mourn, there's a time, to be sad, a time to be happy, so on and so forth, right? There are different seasons of life. There is autumn, there is winter, there is spring, there is summer. These are all different seasons of life as it relates to the weather patterns. Whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's snowing, whether it is raining. In some countries, they have rainy season where it just rains every day for an extended period of time. So it's saying right here that this Hebrew word for opportunity, which can be defined as seasons, is used to translate a variety of Hebrew words. But the core meaning is a period of time in which conditions are right for a particular course of action. So that is the main thing here that we're talking about, how basically it's all about a particular time period. Again, just like the Greek word chronos, it's the same idea. It's about pinpointing something specific and saying, for example, on Tuesday, things are like this, versus on Wednesday, things are like that, or at 5 o'clock, this particular event happened, versus 7:30, something else happened. So we're able to distinguish different time periods based upon, what we can see happening, something that's different maybe. So this is important when it comes to opportunity, because when you have different opportunities, you can't always have the same opportunity at every single point of the day. So at 5 o'clock, if you have an opportunity, let's say to get somewhere, to get to a store or something that closes at 5:30, and they're saying that they're not going to serve anyone past 5 o'clock, then that means that is your opportune moment. That is your time to get in there and receive that particular service. Now, if you get there maybe at 5:05, they may say, I'm sorry, but you're 5 minutes too late. You'll have to come back tomorrow, right? So that means that you have missed your opportunity in that circumstance. And so we have to be mindful of that. We have to be sensitive to the fact that there are certain time periods for things. And this is not always within our control. And there are times that we have opportunities that we didn't really ask for or know that we were going to step into. It's just happenstance maybe. But even with that, what we're talking about today is basically how to be open-minded to that. Looking at how we can be available and ready for any type of opportunity that comes. And one thing that we're going to be discussing probably next week is looking at availability, because opportunities are great and it's always good to take advantage of an opportunity. But if we don't make ourselves available, then it doesn't really matter, right? So somebody might be standing outside of your house with a check for $10 million. But if you're at Kmart when they come, then that's too bad for you, right? You missed your opportune moment. That was the time. So if you're not home, maybe they'll go to your next door neighbor, and you come home and you have no idea that you could have had that money. And you say, wow, my next door neighbor became wealthy. That's amazing. I wonder how that happened. Not even realizing that could have just happened for you if you had come home maybe 5 minutes earlier or something like that. So that's maybe an extreme example. I'm sure that it could happen to someone where someone stands outside with a check for $10 million. But, basically the point of that is to say that we have to make ourselves available. We have to position ourselves in order to take advantage of opportunities, or else those opportunities become meaningless. They're null and void if we're not able to do something with it. So we're going to get, more into that, probably break it down a little bit more next week. One thing from the online etymology dictionary, the word opportunity comes from the Latin word opportunitatem. which means fitness, convenience, suitableness, favorable time. So the favorable time, it means it's the most acceptable time. It's the best time to do something. It also comes from opportunist, which means basically coming toward a port in reference to the wind, in front of, towards, plus portus, which means harbor. So ob or ob is in front of or toward, and then portus means harbor. So it's almost like the idea of a ship coming into a harbor being pushed by the wind, right? That is what opportunity literally means. It's about, being guided towards an open door, because, a port is like a portal, right? So those two words are similar, because if you go to this port, then you're going through a portal. You're going from literally one world to another world. But more on that after this. You're listening to For the Love of Wisdom, where philosophy meets the streets, on North Coast Underground, where the underground starts with you.
It's your boy, Tear It Up, Tommy Tom from Beyond Sports, and you're listening to For the Love of Wisdom
with your host, Jason Johnson.
All right, welcome back. You're listening to For the Love of Wisdom, where philosophy meets the streets. All right, so right now we are continuing our discussion on the wisdom of opportunity. All right, and this is something that I believe is a really important topic, something I think that we can learn a lot from. Before the break, we were talking about how opportunity is all about pretty much not only being at the right place at the right time, but also making yourself available for those opportunities when they come, and being available could mean being mentally available, being physically available, right? It has to do with even just being willing. And if we have those ingredients, then we're at the perfect place in order to take advantage of really any opportunity in life. All right, so let's take a look at an article here. This is something that I think is pretty inspirational, and for anyone, if you or someone you know has been incarcerated or is maybe facing that possibility and they have fear of what they're going to do when they get out and maybe not being able to have opportunities, I think that this article is pretty awesome. And it says, Cafe opens doors of opportunity for released inmates. Okay, and this was an article that was produced by a organization called Radio New Zealand. So this is an article from New Zealand. The writer is Ben Sprang, and this just came out actually a couple days ago, maybe about a day ago, and I think that this is pretty awesome. So here's what it says. Hope has the strong aroma of freshly roasted coffee beans at Arohata Women's Prison. For the past 3 years, Wellington's Laura Tennant has run barista training inside the prison, teaching 30 inmates each year the dark arts of coffee making. All right, so a barista basically, is a person who is like a professional coffee maker, right? So like you go to Starbucks, it's like, who is that? Is that the coffee person? No, that's the barista, right? It's specific. Everything has a name, right? So this is basically training them how to do that. It says that the course is run through Trade School Industries, which is a charity hoping to teach inmates skills which will help them to find a job on the outside. This is very valuable. This is awesome that they're doing this, right? This is definitely something that's needed because, there are different circumstances that will cause people to become incarcerated. Sometimes it's because they truly have committed a crime and they deserve to be punished. And there are other times when maybe someone is just at the wrong place at the wrong time and they're falsely accused. Regardless of the circumstance that lands a person in prison, being in prison is no picnic. and it's not something that anyone looks forward to. At least I would hope not. But depending on the circumstances, some may, but that's a totally different topic there. But usually a person doesn't really want to go to prison, and outside of the fears of what may actually happen within the prison, one of the major fears for most inmates is, what am I going to do when I get out? How am I going to survive? How am I going to support my family, especially for a person who's a felon, right? And on job applications, you'll see it always asks, are you a felon? Have you ever been to prison, right? Do you have anything on your record? And that's a hard question for most people to answer, because even though technically jobs are not supposed to discriminate, putting that information on there is something that influences their choices most of the time. So I actually saw a movie yesterday that was about a fighter. He was a boxer, and he beat a guy to death. And so he was charged with second-degree murder, and he was sent to prison for 12 years because of that. Now, when he got out, he was having a difficult time, but he was able to find someone who was able to provide a job for him. And the reason why was because this guy had compassion. One of the reasons he had compassion is because he had been arrested himself. Now, he said that he only spent 5 hours in prison or jail, so it was a little bit different from 12 years. But what he said was, at least he had some understanding that things happen and everyone needs a second chance, everyone needs a break. So it was a pretty good movie, pretty inspirational. I saw it on Netflix. Can't remember the name off the top, but it was cool. Maybe just do a search for it online or something. You might be able to see it too. And basically, what this organization here, that's run through trade school industries, what they're doing is they're trying to do the exact same thing, but in a more systematic way. They're trying to say, how many people can we put back on their feet after experiencing something as difficult as prison, right? So that's what the whole point of that is to say, how can we set people up for success and not failure in the future? One thing also to keep in mind here, they're saying that they're actually interviewing a former inmate, and they say it's so rare. There aren't many opportunities out there, so when you openly say there is, they're taken aback. The first former inmate is expected to start at the cafe next week, and 2 more will follow in October if their parole board hearings go according to plan. So this is really good. It's saying that the women will be guaranteed a year of employment at a starting rate of $17.50 an hour with a pay review after 3 months. And that's pretty good for, just coming fresh out of prison. There's people who haven't been to prison who are making $8 an hour. So if they can come out making $17.50, that's pretty good. So one thing they said is that the course had given women hope and belief that they could leave prison and become contributing members of society. And that's what everyone wants. At least most responsible adults want to be able to be productive members of society. They don't want to just sit around or even just live off the system. Most people want to make a difference and they want to contribute. And being in prison is something that can make it hard for people to do that. So it's great that organizations like this exist, because they are creating what we're talking about today. They are creating opportunities for people. And the thing about this is, it's not just an opportunity for the inmates. It's an opportunity for the people who are heading up this organization, because really this is an opportunity to do good. And this is what, the Bible talks about this. Whenever you have the opportunity to do good towards another person, you should do it. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're saying, let's use our resources, let's use our connections and our gifts and our talents. Let's use that to create opportunity for others, so that they don't have to stay within the system, so that they don't end up going back to prison because they had nothing productive to do when they got out. Prison is oftentimes called a rehabilitative place. However, there's not a lot of rehabilitation there. It's basically just a holding place where people stay within a certain amount of time, oftentimes in difficult conditions, which makes them even more hard-hearted, or it makes them more criminal-minded, as they are surrounded by nothing but criminals. And they're basically fending for themselves in this dangerous environment, and then they're sent back out into regular society and expected to somehow become, upstanding moral citizens. But unless a person is very strong-minded or has good opportunities, it's going to be hard for them to do that. So I'm glad that stuff like this exists. Hopefully we can see more like this in the days and weeks and years to come. But more on that after this. You are listening to North Coast Underground, where the underground starts with you. All right, welcome back. You were listening to For the Love of Wisdom, where philosophy meets the streets. And we are getting ready to conclude hour number 1. Today we are discussing the wisdom of opportunity, right? So as we are looking at this word opportunity, we're discussing how basically we need to be not only in the right places at the right times, but be willing and available to walk into great opportunities. And there are people who do have questions about sometimes which opportunities to take. And one of those areas that's pretty big is the employment sector. When it comes to trying to figure out maybe whether or not a certain job is for you, you may wonder, well, how am I supposed to determine if I should take this position, this position versus that position, either within the same company or even when it comes to looking at two different companies, right? How do you know what you should do? And I think that there's a pretty good article that speaks about this, and it is called How to Decide Which Job Opportunity is Best for You. And this was published by Forbes, and it was written by Helen Chow. This one just came out a few days ago, and I think it has a lot of really helpful information. So I want us to take a look at that in just a second. Let's see what it has to say. All right, so it says that many of us understand the importance of having multiple opportunities in the job search pipeline. But how should you go about deciding which opportunity is best for you? So should you go with your gut feeling or talk with your mentor, family, and friends? How should you do it? So one thing that they say is there's 3 main things that you have to consider before accepting a job anywhere. And remember, when it comes to jobs, right? What is important to remember is that you are considered more valuable to the company than that job is considered to you. So basically, you may look at a job opportunity and say, this is important. They're helping me because they're allowing me to work somewhere that can cause me to maybe make $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year or something like that, right? So you're saying, maybe you're looking at it like they're doing you a favor by hiring you. But in all honesty, you're doing them a favor, because even though they are paying you for your work, as they should, most likely you're making them way more than what they're giving you. And that's just how business works, right? So you always have to remember that, yes, it should be something that takes care of your needs, but at the end of the day, they need you more than you need them. So this is important when it comes to even negotiation, things like that, when you're just starting your job. Keep that mindset, and I think that it will be helpful for you. But let's see what they have to say here. So it says that before considering accepting a job, all right, look at these 3 things: the company's reputation, vision versus reality, and your career trajectory. and the career trajectory offered within the company, right? So those three main things: the company's reputation, vision versus reality, and career trajectory. So there's, of course, a lot more things that we could look at when it comes to selecting a job, but I think that they broke it down pretty nicely, and they made it in a concise way that's kind of easy to remember, and it's pretty cool. So let's take a look. The company's reputation. They ask 4 questions. How much research have you done on the industry? Is the company part of the growing industry? Is it known for investing in its employees? And do you know who its competitors are and its standing among them? And that last one really stands out to me because, you know what? You may be just dead set on working at a particular company, but if you think that that's the only company in the industry close to you or that would hire you, then maybe you won't put your resume out or apply for different places. And if you don't do that, then you might never know that there might be another company that's actually a better fit for you, because sometimes ignorance can lead us away from good opportunities. Sometimes just knowing about something can be helpful because you may not know. Like if you wanted to work in the food service industry, right? And let's say you wanted to become a chef in a well-established restaurant. If the only well-established restaurant that you've heard of is on 3rd Street, then you might miss out on the well-established restaurant that's even better on 13th Street, right? But you would never know unless somebody told you or you did some research on it to figure out what the best path is for you. So it's always good to kind of look at your opportunities. This one here, vision versus reality. Did you have the chance to discuss the hiring manager and department lead's vision for the team in detail? How realistic are they, given the budget and resources available? How will your performance be measured? And how much support, resources, and goals alignment, etc., will you have to make the vision a reality? Are you confident that you will be set up for success? These are great questions to ask. And then lastly, when it comes to career trajectory, they say you should ask these 4 questions. What does the company want to achieve? Will you be able to gain different skill sets in this new role? Will you be responsible for accomplishing a business goal you haven't achieved before? And will you have more responsibilities in this new role? So these are all important things to consider. And this responsibilities part is important too, because if you have new responsibilities that you may not be prepared for, it may be kind of difficult for you just getting into it if you're not knowing what to expect. Because sometimes a company will gladly throw you to the wolves, or maybe just throw you into the water, sink or swim, because they say, hey, we just need someone to do this. And if you know that that's not for you, then you may need to look at a different opportunity. But we're going to take a quick break as we conclude hour 1. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to For the Love of Wisdom, where philosophy meets the streets.
Knowledge is power, power is money, and money makes the world go round.
Money, power, respect, I get it. Higher learning, yeah, I'm winning. Only get better with time, keep got on my mind with wisdom, there's no limit. There's no limit, get up and get it. Can achieve the impossible, conquer every obstacle. Exhausted from grinding, constantly pushing, do what they say I could. Life is what you make it. Knowledge is power, don't let them take it. If you're in love